Getting to know you.
Everybody's different. Different looks, different tastes, different lifestyles. That's why Geo offers you a choice. Geo Metro, Geo Storm, Geo Prism, and Geo Tracker. So pick your favorite and get to know Geo. Right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the OBO Car Show podcast. Thank you for stopping by. In today's episode, we will be talking about the Geo car brand and its history. We will cover how the Geo brand came about, the partnerships within the brand, and the models they produced. The Geo brand was a small car market marketed by General Motors as a subdivision of its Chevrolet brand. The Geo brand went from 1989 to 1997. Geo was a junction point between GM and Japanese automakers to compete with growing small import markets in the United States during the mid-1980s. Subcompact cars and SUVs, either badge-engineered or based on Japanese models, were produced by General Motors at its facilities in North America or imported to the States from Japan. Geo was discontinued after the 1997 model year and merged into the Chevrolet brand name. The Geo Metro, Prism, and Tracker were sold as Chevrolets from the 1998 model year until their demise in 01, 02, and 04. In this sense, Geo existed until 2004, even with the Geo nameplate being dropped in mid-1997. Geo models were manufactured by General Motors in conjunction with three Japanese automakers, Toyota, Isuzu, and Suzuki. The Prism was produced at the GM-Toyota joint venture Numi assembly plant in Fremont, California in the United States, and the Metro and Tracker models were produced at the GM-Suzuki joint venture Kami assembly plant in Ingersoll, Ontario, Canada. So on to the first model that Geo made. We will be talking about the different brands that Geo produced. This model was called the Geo Metro.
In the 80s, Honda was known for the highest mileage. But today, the 90s begin with the new Geo Metro. Metro XFI is the highest mileage car in America. It's also one of the lowest priced cars in America. So it's very easy to get to know Geo Metro. It's just around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
The Geo Metro is a small economy car that was based on the Suzuki Swift, or as known in Japan as the Cultist. The Cultist Geo Metro Suzuki Swift was produced from the 1989 model year till the 2001 model year. The first generation was offered in 3- and 5-door hatchback models, as well as a 4-door notchback sedan that was only sold in Canada. In 1990, a convertible was available but was phased out very, very quickly in 1993.
What's this? New import? Geo Metro convertible. Must be new. I didn't even know Geo had a convertible. I can just see it. Top down, wind in my hair. How much? No way. A convertible for less than 10 grand? What a breath of fresh air. Getting to know.
Now's the time to get to know the Geo Metro convertible at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
In 95, the Geo Metro was redesigned with more contemporary appearance and offered a 70 horsepower 4-cylinder engine, standard dual airbags, and optional anti-lock brakes. This was back when airbags and anti-lock brakes were a optional item, whereas today, airbags, anti-lock brakes, all of that is part of a car as safety features. The XFI did not return for 95, and the base and LSI models were only offered. The 2000 model year was the last year for the Geo Metro hatchback and the 3-cylinder engine. These did come with a 3-cylinder engine. They now actually make a 3-cylinder engine again in 2023. It is in the Buick Encore and Chevy Trax and Buick Envista. They are in multiple cars now. But back then, Geo was one of the first to put 3-cylinder cars into their vehicle. 3-cylinder engines into their vehicles. The next model we will be talking about is the Geo Prism.
In the 80s, Honda became known for its reliable, feature-filled cars.
You ready, Dad?
I love this car.
But today, the 90s begin with the new Geo Prism. The quality sedan with 16-valve performance, Prism is designed for years of carefree driving, with more of the features and little extras that make life easier. So you know you'll be friends for a long time. Get to know the new Geo Prism at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
The Geo Prism was a rebadged Toyota Corolla. The Prism was a compact 4-door sedan that was based on the Toyota E90 and E100 platform. While the Prism consistently won awards from the auto industry, including the Consumer's Digest Best Buy selection, it was always outsold by the platform twin, as I mentioned earlier, the Toyota Corolla. The Toyota Corolla kind of trumped the sales of the Prism due to Toyota being a bigger brand than Geo. Additionally, the Prism was positioned within Chevrolet's own model lineup and competed with the Cavalier for market share and dealer floor space. So they were making the Prism and the Cavalier at the same time, and they were the same category, subcompact cars, and because they were both Chevys, it was one or the other. You couldn't go with both. The Prism was sold from 1989 through 2002, and it was produced at the NUMMI in Fremont, California plant.
The available anti-lock brakes on the new Geo Prism can help you negotiate driving hazards during hard braking. And every new Prism comes with a driver's side airbag, which we'd also be happy to demonstrate. But you've seen all that before. Besides, why ruin such a beautiful car? Get to know the newest Geo Prism, at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Our third model we will be talking about is the Geo Storm.
In the world of sporty imports, there was Toyota, then Honda. But today, there's something new, Geo Storm. It's going to hit with an aggressive stance, an eager multi-port fuel-injected engine, and 4-wheel independent suspension. Get to know the new Geo Storm. It's rolling in now, and it's just around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
This one, to me, was the best Geo because it was very unique. It was sporty. It was nothing like any of the other Geos. It was special, and it was attractive, especially for young buyers. This one was special because it was not produced in the United States, and it was an import from Japan. The Storm was a sports car based on the Isuzu Impulse, available as a 3-door fastback, quote-unquote sport coupe, and 2-door hatchback. The Storm entered Geo's lineup in 1990, and there was 2 different models available, the base model and the GSI trim. The base model came with a choice of either a 3-speed automatic or a 5-speed manual, and the GSI models either came with a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic, which also came with better handling, a rear spoiler, bucket seats, and a more powerful dual overhead cam engine. In 1992, the front and rear of all models were restyled. The GSI sported a bigger 1.8 liter, yet still super small, dual overhead cam engine replacing the former 1.6 engine.
Getting to know you.
Geo Storm. Great way to get away. 16 valves. Hello, road. The turns, the hills. This is it. Now this can be contagious.
Now's the time to get to know the Geo Storm at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Despite strong sales, the Storm was discontinued in 1993, so it only went for 3 years, and this was due in part to Isuzu discontinuing their car lines. The Geo Storm was the performance-oriented vehicle of the Geo marquee. And the last and final model that we will be talking about that is a Geo is the Geo Tracker.
There was a time when Toyota was the last word in sporty import 4x4s. But today, the 90s begin with a new kind of truck, Geo Tracker. Sometimes it's a convertible, sometimes it's a rugged 4x4, but it's always an adventure. Get to know Geo Tracker only at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
But be prepared to attract a little attention.
Getting to know you.
The Geo Tracker was an SUV introduced in 1989 and is based on the Suzuki Sidekick. It was a low-cost, very budget-friendly 4x4 vehicle introduced as a two-door with either a convertible or a fixed hardtop and a base or upscale LSI trim. In 96, the two-door hardtop was dropped in favor of the four-door model. The four-door offered a more powerful 95 horsepower engine. Again, not very much horsepower, but these were geared towards economical small cars. The Tracker was produced from 89 to 98 and 99 to 2004 under Chevrolet, making the longest running Geo model the Tracker. The Tracker was completely redesigned for the 99 model year. The Geo brand was a marquee in the General Motors world and was forgotten in the midst. Unfortunately, due to decreasing demand for smaller compact vehicles, the Geo brand went downhill very fast, thus leading to its demise.
Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you.
Meet the 1990 Geo.
Getting to like you. Getting to hope you like me.
In the 70s, you got to know a small car company called Toyota. In the 80s, Honda. Today, the 90s begin, and we invite you to get to know Geo.
So that was today's episode on the Geo brand by General Motors. I wanted to say thank you all for listening and stopping by the OBO Car Show podcast. Feel free to listen to my first podcast about the history of the Holden Commodore from 1978 to 2020.